What's going on, boys? My name is Sid, and what if I told you you could get Summit cars buyable? You could get them without having to play the Summit. But not just the simple ones, because this video right here is going to explain not only which Summit cars are back buyable right now, but which ones are coming up, which ones are going to be buyable at all, and which ones are in a completely different system now. And still aren't buyable, but are still gonna be exclusive. Let's see. The first one on that list is the Lamborghini Huracan Peppermint. This thing is now back buyable. There's a weird thing here because it's not just this thing, but it's also the Ferrari F12 TDF. Kamehameha is in front of us here, unfortunately. Okay, that's good. There we go, now we're ahead. No, we're not. But this thing and the other hypercar, Ferrari F12 TDF, the other Italian car up here, those two things are now back in the game as buyable Summit cars. But there's a reason these two are buyable now. These two actually make sense coming back to the game and not being exclusive anymore. I'll explain why. Well, it's as simple as they were barely Summit cars to begin with. There's 3 cars that are the same as this thing right here. Here's what makes them unique. By the way, just a few quick updates on the giveaway that I'm doing. The 9 copies over 3 weeks. The podcast code for some extra entries is the most recent episode, and there's gonna be new ones in every week on these next 2 weeks. So this episode, the Motorfest Took Us to Goodwood, that's where the extra code is for this week. And I may end up giving away 3 of those codes every week, basically. So 1 of each. I'll see though. Again, to be updated on that giveaway, how to enter, everything, go follow my Twitter. See, the Huracan, this Ferrari, and a third one I'll mention are the only type of car in that spec. They were spec swaps. So, you know how we have the Huracan in street? It was bringing the Huracan into hypercar. We've got the F12 Berlinetta in street. It's the F12 in hypercar. But the weird thing is even though these two have been made buyable now, the spec swap cars that are the only Summit cars with full customization as well. Spec swapped customization, not an edition car. But the third car that should also be buyable is the DeLorean monster truck, but I don't believe it is. It wasn't in the beta, and I don't think they've updated it. But this thing is the exact same. This thing is a Summit car that was previously a Summit car, still is in this thing's case. There's no other DeLorean in hypercar, right? So there's no other version of the DeLorean. It's not an edition car. It's instead the only version of the DeLorean you can get in Monster Truck, and features full customization. But as far as I'm aware, it is still a Summit car for some reason. I don't understand why, when it's got the full visual part customization, you know? It doesn't make sense. Okay, but the Peppermint and the F12 TDF are now buyable in the game. They are 2 Summit cars that you can now buy. Are you happy that you're able to buy them? Because, well, you know, they're base hypercars, so I guess they should have been buyable the whole time. So what next, though? These 2 are buyable at launch. What else is there? Well, strangely, now I don't have it because I own both the cars in the bundle, but they have, for some reason, made the Gold Edition, as you can see here on screen, they've made the Gold Edition buyable in a bundle. You can't buy it regularly, I don't think. Like, you can't buy it as on its own in a shop thing. But it's part of the Liberty Walk bundle. I don't know if whoever was making the bundle just forgot that this thing's a Summit car, but if you ever wanted the Gold Edition, you know, now you can buy it as part of the Liberty Walk bundle. I think it's with the M4 that you need for the playlist. You can get that and the Gold Edition, the Mazda RX-8 Gold Edition. I don't really like it that much. I think it looks kind of bad. But if you wanted this thing ever, it's now a Summit car you can buy in a bundle for some reason. Why? I don't know. And it's weird. So, because it's so out of place, right? Like, it's incredibly out of place that you can just pick this car up. Like, no changes was made. I'm curious if you can buy it on its own. I'll have to see if I can find out whether you can just buy it on its own or if it's just in this bundle. Because what happens when this bundle leaves? Is it going to be not buyable anymore? Explain yourself, Ivory Tower. Explain yourself. Some shenanigans go on with these next few, though. Because these... Whoa, whoa, this thing's... Whoa. Let's stay on the road now, alright? Chill out. Some shenanigans going on now with our raced out IVT absolute suburban area menace of a buggy here. Because although this thing is a main stage reward, I was confused recently of whether main stage rewards would remain exclusive after the main stage is finished. And I think we have that answer. And I think we also have the answer to whether there's gonna be any new main stage rewards. Well, I'll show you what I mean. Well, count them, 2 Summit cars have had a weird change to how they're listed in the game. See, the Crew 2 Summit cars, most of them just say, this vehicle is exclusive to the Crew 2, like this on screen right now. But this thing, the Red Fury Edition, the first ever Summit car ever added to the game, this thing, very, very strangely, says previous main stage reward. So what does the game mean when it puts the Red Fury and the Pagani Huayra Rubicon Edition? It's just behind me, but you can see the text. What does it mean when it says past main stage? Well, I think it's rather simple. I think what it means is, like we've seen before with the Rubicon, we saw the Rubicon like that in the beta in the exact same place that Ivory Tower buggy was. And this thing, I imagine, will just be the main stage reward for next month in the same place the Ivory Tower buggy is. And then after that, I imagine the Rubicon will come back like it was in the beta in the European month as the main stage reward for the European month. So the Red Fury and the Rubicon are coming back as main stage rewards, meaning they're not locked behind a skill barrier, they're not locked behind a leaderboard anymore. You just have to grind to level 3, which is as simple as get one of the 3 revisit, compete, or explore things done, and then you can level up, and then you hit level 3. And I guess what they're gonna be doing is only 1 brand new main stage car, like the Ivory Tower buggy, and then 2 reran Summit cars, which I guess right now say past main stage, but I guess that just means that they're part of the main stage, not past. It's a technicality. They're not past main. You look like they're not. You get what I mean, right? So if you wanted to get your hands on either this thing or the Rubicon, those are coming back just as level up things. Next month, this thing, Rubicon month after that. Simple as. And by simple as, I really mean simple as. Like, look, there. It's level 3. As simple as it could be, you know? Like, it's no trouble. That is where I think the Red Fury and we know the Rubicon will be. But the last one is even more curious. It's kind of a bit like that Gold Edition. See, where the Gold Edition just randomly became buyable in a bundle, the Freedom Edition randomly says buyable in X amount of days. I think it was just under a month, perhaps, or maybe it was like 60 days or something. It'll be on screen now, but this thing said it's buyable in X amount of time. No, nothing. Not main stage, not Summit still. It's just buyable. They're just bringing the odd Summit car back as buyable now? I'm so confused. I imagine newer Summit cars like the Airfoil Edition, they're gonna stay exclusive, obviously, but older Summit cars from the Crew 2 are gonna be making their way into the main stage, regular buyable, and I guess we don't know if they're doing returning Summit cars anymore. I guess they won't. I guess instead of doing returning Summit cars every other Summit, they're doing returning Summit cars in the level up system where basically anyone can get them now. But they still stay kind of exclusive? Because the Red Fury and Rubicon, you can see, they say past main stage, meaning once the main stage is over, you can't get them anymore. But we're yet to see what happens when the Gold Edition, like, is the Liberty Walk bundle ever going to disappear? And what happens when this thing becomes a bundle? Is this thing now just gonna be forever buyable? I guess we'll see. So of all these Summit cars, and still no way to filter by Summit car or main stage car or Motorpass car, which I guess Motorpass is irrelevant, but at least let me filter by exclusive car. I don't know. But with all these Summit cars, which one of these cars are you most hyped to be returning? And which ones do you wish were returning? I know I'm looking forward to finally being able to drive the Power Track Edition, but I'm going to be getting that from a Crew 2 rerun. And I guess I'll be getting the Rubicon from Main Stage Progression. And then the only one I'm missing is the Rift Edition, which it's a race for either the Crew 2 will bring it back as a Summit, returning Summit, or Motorfest might just randomly make it buyable, or bring it back as a main stage. And we'll have to see which one comes first. One thing, if I was someone who didn't own a bunch of Summit cars, which would I want to return? You know what? I want people to be able to experience the long range edition. This thing, I didn't like it when it first came out. I thought it was really dumb. It's a dumb Corvette in hypercar, but honestly, God, it's big, but honestly, this thing, I want people to experience this thing. Yeah, what cars do you want to come back? Thank you to popular members, a special thank you to famous members, and an insane thank you to star members, Danimal the Manimal, Grim Pepper, and Extreme Speed, and an insane top of the top thank you to Icon members, HK, and Extreme Speed. This is terrible. Alright. I hope this video helped.